Hey everyone, Dr. Nadia Rizzo here, naturopathic doctor. Naturopathic doctor, and thanks for joining me today. We are bringing a special guest on. We are going to be joined by John Cerrone from JC Limitless, and he is a mindset coach. Maybe I should wait until I actually bring him on camera. I'm so excited for this guest, you guys. So let's bring him on. So today we're talking about what to do if you're really feeling stuck with your fitness and nutrition goals. And if you feel like you hit a plateau, you try.
Let me see.
Am I good now?
Maybe try putting it in. Maybe try putting it in portrait mode. That would be better. There you go.
I'm getting feedback.
Let me see if this helps.
That seemed like it helped.
Better?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. For anyone who has a Samsung,
you know the challenge is balancing it when the
headphones are
in.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, there's an echo now. Here you go. Paolo, is it okay?
Boom. All right, I'm back. I don't know what happened.
All right, awesome.
What's up, Paulo?
So for the Health Made Simple community, I want to introduce you to John. He's a mindset coach from the Chicago area.
Yep.
And he's a father. And I'm so inspired by his story that I've been following. By chance, of course, that I found him and his story. And the thing that really stuck out to me was when he said that someone told him you're building houses, but what you should really be doing is building people. And I've been so inspired by him. So John, tell us about what you do.
Okay, so I'll give you a quick rundown of like who I am, a little bit about my past, and what I'm doing today. So my name's John Cerrone. I'm better known as JC Limitless. I don't like to use this word, but I'm a motivational speaker. That's just the category they put me in. I'm totally, you guys are probably gonna get blown away by some of this stuff, but I'm totally against like motivation. So I don't like the title motivational speaker, but that's what I do today. I go around, I speak at conferences, events, businesses. I do mindset coaching for people, business coaching for entrepreneurs, and I just help people. I really truly believe that people can become limitless in their own perspective of where they came from and where they're heading. Only because of my own real life experiences. I'm from the Chicagoland area. I am 40 years old. I grew up with a rough past. I grew up as a troubled youth, and we're getting a little feedback. I grew up as a troubled youth. I got in a lot of trouble in my earlier days of my life, and it took like a really big event for me to change my life. No, I think that might be good. Might be good.
We're having an issue with the sound. Is it still going?
No, I think it stopped now. All right.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. So anyway, I grew up as a troubled youth. I got in a lot of trouble in my earlier days. I grew up in a fatherless home from when I was about 8 years old. My dad left when I was about 8. I had my mom, my 3 sisters, a house full of estrogen, And, you know, I kind of thought that I could figure out my own way as to what a man should be and do my own things. And it led me into a lot of trouble. You know, like I came up with these bright ideas of what a man is and what he should be doing and how he should act and all this stuff. And it just led me into a life of trouble. When I was younger, I remember, you know, bouncing around, staying at shelters and things like that. My dad was completely, very abusive, physically, not sexually, but physically. And, you know, it just caused like this blackout, I would call it, you know, in my younger years as like, I just wanted to block life out. I didn't really want to be around it. And by me pushing into like being about 15 years old, that's when I started running the streets. I started hanging out with gangs, drugs, guns, violence, you name it. And I was probably around it in my teen years and into my early 20s. It led me into a life of fighting, selling drugs, doing drugs, and ultimately putting me in jail. And that's where I kind of had my breakthrough for myself. I had no idea what was happening at the time, but I knew that I didn't want anything to do with that life. And I knew that I wasn't supposed to be there. You know, like I was supposed to be doing something better with myself. And that's when I started getting into reading about psychology, which led me into neuropsychology, neuroscience, neuroplasticity, human behavior. I am completely fascinated with. Like I'm every time I have a chance to read or learn something, I'm searching about human behavior. It's just so fascinating to me what the human body can do, both physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, what they can go through, how strong they are. And that, you know, I think the biggest thing is that our past doesn't define who we are today and where we're going. And I guess I was like the guinea pig for what I'm doing today, and I had no clue that that's what was happening at the time. You know, I just knew that I didn't want to have a job. I didn't want to work for nobody. I wanted to create my own income. I wanted to be a leader of some sort. I didn't know what it was. So once I got out of trouble and I came home from jail, my little state vacation, I set out to open a business, and I thought by reading these psychology books, I found Think and Grow Rich. I found the 48 Laws of Power. Like I found these books, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna kill it in life. Like nothing is gonna stop me. And long story short, like I got my teeth kicked in. You know, like I was like, I'll clean gutters, I'll paint bedrooms, like I'll do anything. Like I'm not going back to that old life. And I thought it was going to be a breeze, and it wasn't. Like I found myself in March of 2013. My son was 3 months old, and I remember being in my house, and the water was off, the gas was off, the power was off. I had a generator in my garage running my fridge to keep the food cold. It was March in Chicago, so we could see our breath in the house because we had no heat, we had nothing in the house. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, dude, like I'm supposed to be providing. I'm supposed to be living this awesome life that I set out to do when I came home. And that just was not the case. And from there, like, that's where I started forging this mindset because I realized at the time, like, I'm always trying something. Rather than being fully committed to it, I would dabble in it to see what would happen, and I would jump back if something went wrong. And I started building this mindset of discipline and willpower, and nothing's gonna stop me. And like me and you talked about, you know, before, you know, I have my clients, I have them write down. I'm aware of my thoughts and my actions 100 times in the morning, 100 times at night. I was doing something similar, but I was building my confidence as who I was, as being a strong and confident man, as being capable of doing anything, as, you know, nothing could stop me or hurt me.
And I don't mean to
interrupt you,
but I just
want to say
you're one of
you're one of the most knowledgeable people
I've ever
spoken to.
Really?
And
Thank you.
you can tell you're so well read, you're so humble, and you're very, very intelligent.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you for
being on here.
I
Please
really,
continue.
really appreciate that. No, I do. That means a lot. You know, like, there's so much to the story, and I don't want to take up most of the time talking, you know, just about my story. But like from that point on, like I ended up building a business, a multiple six-figure construction business from $236 to $386,000 within a 3 years period. And at that point, I found social media and I was like, dude, like, I don't know what I'm doing and I'm doing good. Like, I have to find somebody that has done this already that can show me more. And so I sought out on Periscope to find somebody that I could look to as like, and I didn't even know what a mentor was at the time. I was like, I need to find somebody that's done this and I need to repeat what they're doing and make this better. Because I literally at this time, I wasn't where I was a lot farther along than I thought I was, because I was telling myself, man, I'm an idiot and I'm still making all this money. Like, wait till I get it together, because like, I think what it is all of us as people, as humans, like, we transition so slowly and so consistently when we're focused that we don't realize how far along we actually came. And you like, I don't know if that makes sense, but like a 6-month period could go by and you've really made a lot of progress, but you don't notice it because it's gradual every day. It's a little bit every single day, and at the time I was like, man, I'm an idiot. I'm still making all this money. Like, I got to figure this out. Like, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get this right. And when I got to social media, like, there's multi-millionaires, there's millionaires, there's all these people. And I'm like, dude, like, I could teach them things. Like, some of the things that are coming out of their mouth, like, I could help them. Like, they can do this better, or they can think about it this way. Or why is this guy saying that he doesn't think he's good enough to do this, or he can't run all these businesses, or whatever it was. And I was just like, I was in awe of like how much I already knew. And at that point, I started commenting and giving out like my own advice on their streams. And lo and behold, like, their followers started like looking to see who I was. They started following me. I've never done a live.
That's how I found you.
And I've never done a live stream or anything. And one night I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go live and see what happens. And I hit the broadcast button, and that moment changed my life forever. And like, from that moment on, my life has not been the same. And I totally went down another road that I didn't even know existed, and was never even in my goals. It was never in my thought process that this could even be possible. And all these people started pouring in. I had 50 followers, and that night I had like 280 viewers on my live stream on Periscope, because everyone kept sharing and inviting. They're like, get in here and listen to this guy. Oh my God, like what he's been through and like all this stuff. And literally my story, it would take me like 2 hours to tell you my complete story, because there's just so many things that were so significant and people can relate to. But once I did that, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to go live again today. And I did it every day. And like, I got up to 7,000 followers. I had like 4.2 million hearts on Periscope. Like, I was trending there so hard that Periscope actually contacted me and asked me to be a speaker at their summit. And I was like, dude, I'm not a speaker. Like, I build houses. Like, sorry, gotta go. And I just blew it off. And then, long story short, from there, I got on stage with Les Brown. I went to the Periscope Summit in San Francisco. I spoke on stage with Chris Record in Las Vegas. I've traveled all over the United States speaking. I speak at homeless shelters, rehab centers, schools, colleges, grade schools, women's shelters, like you name it.
And what do you tell them?
So it depends. Like, every audience depends. There's some audiences I found weren't ready for me, and like, very, very luckily for me, I don't believe in luck, but luckily for me, like, I'm able to quickly adapt to my environment and who I'm speaking to. And when I send something off, I can change the direction of the conversation. So at that point, like, when I figured that out, there's some audiences that are ready and some are not. Like, the majority of the conversations I would have, like for instance, I spoke to a 3rd grade class in the Bronx. And when I went in there, the teacher was like, hey, like, I would really like you to uplift my class. And I'm like, what would you like me to talk about? Like, I was stunned. I'm like, they're 3rd graders. What am I going to say to these guys?
Yeah.
What is going on? And she just told me, she was like, they have a past. They're living in your past right now. Like, they're seeing like violence and drugs in their homes and all this stuff right now. What can you do to help them? I'm like, open the door, let me in. And so we went in there, and I walked around the class, and I looked at everybody, and I got my suit on, like I'm all dressed up, like got my gold watch on, like I'm walking around, and they're all looking at me, eyeballing me, like, who is this guy? And I asked them, I'm like, does anybody in here know what the word perspective means? And they all gave me like a little bit of insight, and like they were kind of on track to what it was. And I'm like, look, basically what it means is like, it's what you're viewing, like what when you see something, what is it that you're viewing, and how do you interpret it? And they're like, oh, that makes sense. I'm like, so looking at me, what's your perspective of me? Like, where do you think I came from? And they're like, Hollywood and Las Vegas, and some of them were saying Europe and like all this stuff. Like they saw me in a suit and they totally misread me. And I was able to relate to them and tell them, hey, look, you know, like I'm not from there. I'm from Chicago. Like I'm from the project. Like I grew up in the hood. And they're like, no. And like I started talking more and more. And by the end of the class, by the end of me talking to them, like all of them wanted to hang out with me. They didn't want me to leave. They were like, oh, you're so cool, JC. Like I can't believe like you did this and that. And, you know, I asked them what they wanted to be in life. You just got to be able to adapt to who's in front of you sometimes, you know. And that saved me from looking like a fool to them. You know what I mean? Like I was able to. Communication is everything. It's just basic communication. If you can communicate, then you'll be great. You know.
I'm sorry for the feedback. I can hear you, but I think there's a little bit of noise.
Yeah.
Is it okay now?
Is it okay now? Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. The feedback coming when I talk, I'm going to take as a sign from the universe that I'm not supposed to talk on this monster.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So
this is our first live together, so we can do more too.
Yeah. So tell me about your journey in more recent years. That's a significant path that led you to the change.
Yep. So basically what I started to do, you know, I started speaking on stage, and I came to a roadblock, and I made a mistake, and I called off all my speaking events because I felt like I was a drug dealer again. Because when I got up on stage in front of Les Brown and Chris Record and all these big audiences, there's 1,500, 2,000 people in front of me. They're all hyped up, but I had nothing to leave them to change their life. Like they got my story, and they're all hyped up in their seat, and I left them. And I remember flying back to New York. I was staying in New York at the time, and I thought to myself, I'm like, JC, like, you're a freaking drug dealer. You're getting these people high in their seat and leaving them there, and you're not giving them anything to change their life.
I don't know why it happened. I think the universe was trying to cut out those words. So you left.
Yeah. So
and you had this feeling of being a drug dealer again.
Yeah, because like I'm just getting people high in their seats at the audience, and then from there, you know, like I left them with nothing. Like I didn't show them how to change their life. They just could relate to it and get real emotional about it, and then I left. You know, and
which is why you hate motivation.
Yeah. Yep.
Because
so from there, I called off. I had like 6 more speaking events lined up already, and I called all of them and canceled them. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. And a lot of them asked why, and I just told them the truth. I was like, I don't have anything to offer these people. I have to get back to you. You know, and they were trying to talk me out of it. They knew who I was, and they've heard me speak before, but I immediately went home and just started writing. I bought a legal pad and started writing. I've never wrote like this in my life. I was never a big reader. I was never a big writer. I just started jotting down what's the blueprint here. Like I went through it, I did it, I've done it multiple times. How can I show somebody else to do it? And I just started writing and writing and writing. I got over like 170 something legal pads a day, loaded with content that I've been writing for the last like 5 years, like just nonstop writing content, which led me to the Limitless Institute and the Limitless Legends and the Limitless Littles, and you know, like Limitless, I have so many different branches of it, you know, and that's what we're working on today.
I'm praying for no more back sound. I'm not touching anything.
It's all good.
All right.
Do you want to? I mean, we can continue this, but
I'm just as amazed as everyone else is. I'm like, just keep going. The part that really sticks for me is getting hyped up about something, but the need for something tangible in order to actually make a change.
It's an action, is what it is. Like there's the thoughts and the feelings. I was all in both of them in the stage, but there's no action. Like I left them in no action. Like they couldn't do anything. Like they could relate to it. Like some people cried, some people were like so happy, some people came up and congratulated me. Like everybody's like all in their feelings, but 2 hours later they're back where they started. When they went home, they were no better than when they showed up this morning. So
if you could go back, what would you leave them with?
I would leave them with what I've been working on. And basically what it comes down to is the limitless essentials. It comes down to mindset, fitness, business, and family. Those are the only 4 important things in life. And there's a process to all of it, because if one of those are weak, it bleeds into the other ones and makes those weak as well. So if your fitness is bad, your health is bad, it's going to bleed into your mindset because you're bloated, you feel bad, you ate wrong, you're guilt setting in, you're distracted, now you're making bad decisions. And that was all, like, your mindset's gangster, it's straight, like it's powerful, but your fitness and your diet just destroyed your mindset, and your mindset's destroying your business, and you're carrying the garbage home to your family. You know, so they all have to have the right amount of attention every day. So focusing on those 4 will get you where you need to go, you know, and finding a goal for each of them. Like today, I'm going to nail my diet. I'm going to be at 2,100 calorie intake, 1,000 calorie burn, and I'm done. Like there's nothing else to think about. I keep it simple and clean and easy for mindset. If I'm going to be, you know, in a sales meeting today, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to listen to sales trainers all morning long while I'm in the gym, while I'm driving to the gym, while I'm coming home from gym, while I'm in the shower. I'm going to be refreshing my mind on the sales process, on closing, on follow-ups, on objections, the whole entire time to gear myself for the day. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to go do a speaking event instead of a sales thing, and I'm just going to sit there and go through all my notes and listen to my own voice recordings that I have of things that I want to share with people about Limitless. Like I purposely set up this stuff for the day. And by the end of the day, you know, you have your family time, you got to spend time with your family. You got to cut off the business. You got to cut off what you're doing, you know, at the gym or whatever it is. You know, like every piece of those has to be filled in order for you to have a limitless life.
Yeah. I love how you drew
attention
to
your
your mindset, or even all the categories bleeding into each other.
Yes, it's so important.
No one I think would come into my office and use the words I want a promotion at work. What can you do for me as a naturopathic doctor?
Yeah.
Because they don't see the link.
Absolutely.
Between the health and the mind, and the rest of your life.
Absolutely. So, and that's like a prime example of like what you just gave, because like they are all so tied in, and just like your feelings, like with your mind, you know, like if you're eating bad, you're not going to gym. It literally, you start having bad thoughts. You become distracted. Like, okay, I feel this way. I feel bloated. I feel like crap. I feel tired. I feel wore down. Like all those carbs that you ate and like all this stuff that's going on within you, it disintegrates your mind throughout the day. Like you are just destroying every thought process that you can create. Like you can't stay focused. You can't do anything. You know, so like I think that it's in the marketing. You know what I mean? Like I think that it's all in the marketing of how you can explain it.
Yeah. As I try to combat this. I also want to say certain things with diet
have
have actually been supported by
research
to be
to be related
to how you
to how you feel
mood-wise,
Yep.
and your
and your
mind.
mind.
And the link
And
is
the link is inflammation.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Inflammatory foods. So
Yeah.
that's the thing that got my attention with you. Like, honestly, like, I don't remember how we actually linked up in the beginning, to be honest. Like, I remember seeing a video of yours and you were talking, I think it was a video about like food and inflammation. And like, I was like, she gets it. Like, she understands it. And because, well, I'm just going to be honest, like, a lot of real doctors that I talk to, like, they have every answer in the book that is like wrong to give out to somebody, because the information they're giving, like, I feel that they're trying to prescribe them something to fill the void, you know? And like, when I saw your video, I was taken by it, like, hardcore, and I was like, follow. Like, I gotta follow her. Like, she gets it, you know? And I feel like you and I are like on a similar mission after reading your book. Like, I think I'm like a male hardcore version of you, without all the certificates.
That's awesome.
And
on the surface,
like I said, someone might not see
business
mindset,
naturopathic
doctor,
but our
approach
is like almost
almost
exactly
exactly the same.
Yes. So I want to ask you something. So what got you started on your journey with all of this?
I'm hesitant
with the feedback,
which is why I'm
talking slow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I saw a naturopath,
long story short.
And one day she had left the room
so I could get out of the gown
after treatment. I'm looking on the
wall because my
diploma
was right here.
And
I'm looking and I go,
where do you go
to become one of these?
Because I just knew that I had to be able to help people in a way that wasn't single tunneled. So I worked in the same clinic that I work now. But I was an assistant. I did ultrasounds. I did front desk stuff. I talked to people. Then I became a reflexologist. So I did feet treatment and acupressure.
Yep.
And it was always limited. I couldn't help them from every aspect. I needed to be a general practitioner. So I could understand everything medically, vastly. And then I can use multiple tools to help.
I dig it. Okay.
Instead of doing just one thing.
Yes.
Because as a naturopathic doctor, we do a lot of things.
Okay.
Yeah. Like we don't just do acupuncture.
Yeah.
We do diet. We do tons of stuff.
Right. And like in your field, like you stay away from like prescriptions and stuff like that.
That's a misperception.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
whoever the prescribing doc is
in Ontario.
Yeah.
I'm in Ontario.
So we have different regulations.
Yep.
But they have to talk to the prescribing doc for their meds.
So I don't deal with that.
But what I do is I help them because some medications can have side effects.
Yeah.
And many medications can deplete nutrients.
Uh-huh.
So I supplement back the nutrients. There's certain medication
might be depleting.
Okay, I got
even
you.
like the birth control pill.
So even like the birth control pill, like it's
so many B vitamins.
So many B vitamins.
A lot of people don't know that. You're gonna be tired.
You're gonna be tired.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So what was it that made you want to write your book? Where did that come from?
Honestly, the majority of the book was written while my son was visiting with his dad. Those overnights.
Yep.
And I was in the midst
of
the emotional
turbulence
of my situation,
being in family court.
Yeah.
And the health info, the middle U chapter was written for like 2 years. After I had him,
I wrote it.
Oh, wow.
And my publisher said,
Mm-mm.
You're not going all in. You're holding back. So I took another year and a half, and all the soul stuff came out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then it was complete.
Gotcha. I love it. That's awesome. Well, good. So I think that, like the big thing for me that I think is like important for everybody to understand is like the actual fitness and health side of it. I think that you and I have the same end result, and we come from two different paths to get there. They're similar paths, but I think they're different starting points. And I might be wrong, but let me know. So, like, there's the like you can accept people for who they are. They're at a certain place in their life. They're accustomed to certain mindsets. They're accustomed to certain foods. They're different lifestyles. And for me, and I'm going to speak on my side. I want to see what your side is. So, like, for me, I know I can accept somebody for who they are right now. But my thing is that if somebody comes to me and works with me, I can't accept that same person next week, right? So, and the majority of it is this. Like, I've studied so much about mindset and psychology and neuropsychology and like how the brain functions, and purposely creating dominant thoughts that can create brand new outcomes. Like, you're purposely, seriously, like designing your future day by day. Once you understand like how the brain works, like, nerve cells that fire together, wire together, and it becomes, those things come together and it becomes habitual. Like, it starts off with thoughts, and then you start combining different thoughts, and you start acquiring habits, and then like the actions, and like your character builds, and like all of this stuff, and purposely putting it together. But for me, it's like I drop a hammer on somebody's life, and like what you've been doing does not work. We can all agree to that, right? And they're gonna be like, yeah. I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. And so the food you're accustomed to, the mindset you're accustomed to, the time you wake up in the morning, your rituals throughout the day, like, we're going to disrupt all of it, and it's over. Like, unless you want to continue down that life you've had, we're going to go this way until you either win or you quit. It's going to be one of the two. So I think that from our differences is that, like, I lay the hammer down on them and make them move a certain way from that point forward. And I feel like from where you're at, you're able to spend more time individually and be able to understand where they are and gradually change them into their new direction. Am I right or no?
Yeah, and keyword is gradual.
Yes.
Depending on the person.
I think that's the only difference. Like, I'm just like, we're going this way. And you're like, all right, so I'm going to gradually move you this way. I think that's the only difference, because I think the outcome's the same. Like I think literally it's the same mission. I swear to God. Like, I was sitting there reading your book, watching your videos, going over this stuff, and I'm like, this is the same thing. She's just got like a really sweet way of doing it, and I'm just like, let's go this way.
Yeah, the feminine energy.
That's what I'm saying. So, I want to know. So I got a lot of questions. So, personally, like, what made you want to do the fitness stuff like this? Like, what was it about the diets? And because like you're like deep into it. Like what was it personally for you that made you say, I'm going this way, this is what I want to do?
You mean like with my own life?
My own life?
Yeah.
So I used to hate
fitness.
Okay.
My first fiance was a bodybuilder. And I was pissed because he was always at the gym and not with me.
Okay.
So I developed this hatred for the gym. So I had a really bad emotional tie with it. Years passed. And life changes. And I have my son. Different partner. And I'm going through my family court. My son is an infant. Months old.
Yep.
And just automatically, almost like not even a full conscious decision. I just start working out when I'm with him. At home.
Yep.
And I just start avoiding my food sensitivity. Because I'm a single mom with an infant.
Yep.
And I need all the energy I can get. And I know when I avoid my food sensitivities, I feel like I'm on fire.
Yeah.
I just boom. It wasn't even a thought because when you have to get shit done, you just go. And I literally at home just started like sit-ups, squats, using my baby, playing with him. just those simple things. It wasn't an hour at the gym. It was sporadic throughout the day. Having fun with my son.
Yep.
And feeling better myself to move.
Yep.
And even now it's still somewhat sporadic.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of that's where we differ.
Yeah.
But it gets done. There was a time when I was typing a blog.
Yep.
I just started. I'm at home. My son's in his high chair.
Yep.
And with my right foot, I'm rolling him back and forth. My glutes were asymmetrical. because without meaning to, I had totally worked out my right one every day. Typing, rocking him. And I thought, first I was like, crap. Then I thought, if people don't think that one simple change can make a difference, they think it has to be some over-glorified program to make a change.
Yep.
They're so wrong.
Yep.
Because from rocking my baby, typing a blog every day, and asymmetrical glutes.
I love it.
Yeah.
So
they're not asymmetrical anymore.
That's awesome. So from your book, like what I want to know, what is the outcome you're looking for from your book?
Before I launched, I was working with one of my practitioners. One of the first I have it on my wall here. One of our first principles of naturopathic medicine that we're supposed to live by. We take an oath. And one of them is Dr. Heal Thyself. Right? So I'm sitting with my practitioner.
Yep.
And I'm scared for the book to come out. I delayed it by months. And she said, why did you write this book? And again, without even thinking, it just came out. So no postpartum woman will ever feel like shit again.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Because I think, and it can be applied for anyone, but especially at that time, we feel guilty for doing anything for ourselves. We feel like it's going to be hard. I'm in better shape and I feel better at 30. after having
a child, and when I was 27, I had him.
Yep.
So even when
he was 6 months old,
I felt it looked better having him 6 months old
than
I did in
my teen years.
Wow.
So there's no fucking way that it's now I'm getting passionate.
Here it comes.
There's no fucking way that it's difficult or impossible. But we tell ourselves, well, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to feel like myself again.
Yep.
There's no way I'm going to lose the baby weight.
Yep.
Life is just like this now. It's just how it is.
Yep.
Fucking lies.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. There's so much
Not so sweet anymore.
There's so much that just happened right now. So that was literally like that passion that came out, like that represents like Limitless, like everything to do about it. And I think there's like another like difference, like not difference, but I think it's like almost the opposite. Like it's so weird. Like the things that we're doing are almost exact opposites, but exactly the same. I can't explain it. So like for me, I push people to the absolute extreme about everything, about counting calories, macros, like everything. And then I push them to the extreme with going to gym and making sure they burn 1,000 calories a day. But hopefully none of my people are watching this right now. No, I'm just kidding. I know that most people are going to do 50% of what they actually try to do. Like if they give everything they got, they might run into doubt. They might run into pain. They might run into like emotional stuff. I know that we're not always going to give 1,000% every time. But if they do half of what I told them, they're going to have monster results. And it happens every time. Like it's, for me, when I think about like what I've learned about the mind, the body, and how it works, and then also from other people, like there's this guy Damon Sewell. He's the one that taught me the majority of everything I know about like my fitness stuff and like my diet and how it all works. And instead of like every single day I have the same food, same diet every single day. I never change it. It is never different, and I do it for a few reasons. So one, I know I'm hitting my calories exactly where they need to be, 100% every day. Two, I'm not wasting time throughout my day like, what can I replace broccoli with instead and do this? And then, well, if I add this and change this, like now my diet's like iffy. Like it's not on point. You know, I can track it in my fitness pal, I can do whatever, but it's wasting a lot of my time if I keep changing it. Like I'm here for results out of it. I'm not here for taste. You know, like sure, I'll go out and have like a steak, or I'll go out to a dinner, or go do something different sometimes.
Hey, Daniela.
And then
It's still badly behind.
I can't see any comments over here. Are there comments?
Are there
comments? Yeah, I see them.
You
can. Right.
Yeah, I can't see anything. So
yeah,
for me, like it's the same thing every day. Like I have 5 hard-boiled eggs, 400 grams of strawberries, 1 banana, 18 ounces of chicken, 6 to 9 ounces of red meat, and I have like 100 calories of broccoli every day. Same exact thing. I know I'm hitting it right. And then I go to gym 1, 2, sometimes 3 times in a day. And when I go to gym, I'm looking for my 1,000 calorie burn, but I'm listening to my own body. I'm listening to what it's telling me. Like if I have more energy than what I need, like I know I got to go back to the gym. I naturally just need to be there. My body's telling me to go back. Like
I like how you're saying you're listening to your body.
Yeah, it's telling me what to do. Like I can go in there and have like in my mind, I'm gonna go work out chest today, you know, and I'll get there. If I'm not feeling it, I'm gonna go start doing arms, and then if that feels good, I'm slamming it the rest of the day. Like I listen to what my body's telling me it wants or it can do, you know, because I think I put it through a lot of rigorous workouts, and if it can't do it, and if it doesn't want to do it, I'm not gonna force it because it's chest day. Like I'm gonna listen to it, and it's like, all right, let's go do some legs, or let's go do some back. Like I'll just go do something else. And I think it helps me out tremendously to be able to know and listen to my body that way. Like, for you, like, what does your gym look like? Like, what does your workouts look like? Are you 7 days a week or what?
I'm going to take that fuzziness as a sign. That I just don't even do. It's basically what I said. It's at home, usually with my kid, walking, squats. It's a lot of Pilates type thing.
Yep.
And sometimes there's kettlebells and an elliptical. But it's not scripted. The other day we were playing party choo-choo train. So I was just running with him and doing aerobics and stuff.
Yeah.
And I had a friend over who doesn't yet have a child. And she's like, oh, now I see what you're talking about. Like, I had to shower after that. And a 3-year-old has a lot of energy. So you're just going. So it's what is it? It's convenient and it's fun.
I love it. And I mean,
I'm not gonna do it.
From what I understand and what I've learned, it's just keeping like your heart rate high. You know, so like it could be lifting weights, or it could be running, or it could be a lot of exercise with the kids, running around with the kids. Like if you keep your heart rate high, that burns, calories. I'm looking at it from my view. I don't know what is your view of like diets and like your food intake? Like what is I have an idea from your book, but what, like, can you tell me on here, like what that looks like from your side?
Yeah. I scratched the mosquito bite that I had. And now it's scratching. Okay. So I don't count anything.
Yep.
Except for protein, carbs, and that's it. I don't count anything.
Nothing else.
And after a while of counting.
Yep.
I don't count. I just know. Just like every Italian woman who doesn't follow a recipe. You eyeball it. So after a while, you know this much chicken is being bring.
Yeah.
This much. I wish I still had the container because almost every day I have a protein shake. So that knocks out 20 grams.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's it.
It's simple, right?
Yeah, and I avoid my food sensitivities. Or at least I try. That's one thing. I don't believe in diet.
You don't believe in diets at all?
Zero. Unless it's some sort of specific medical condition.
Yeah.
That specifically needs certain things.
Yeah.
Like very rare.
I think it's cool to see the two different that's what I'm saying. Like, we're doing the same thing, but so very different. It's so weird.
And we're both getting results.
I went from, in 40 days, I went from 22% body fat to 8.4% in 40 days.
I saw.
Yeah. And it's so crazy to see, like, I'm still trying to, like, comprehend, like, since I read your book and, like, we talked and, like, how very different it is. Like, I've been trying to figure out, like, how this is so different, yet it's so much the same. Like, that is, like, mind-blowing to me.
I think the key for what I do is hitting the inflammation piece.
Yeah.
Because food sensitivities induce inflammation.
Yeah.
And if you're inflamed, you're going to be bloated. You won't shed that weight.
Yeah.
You're going to feel like crap.
Yeah.
Tired. Headaches, pain.
Yeah.
That's how I hit it.
I'm with you. So, like, what do you feel about, like, I just want to ask because I'm interested in this. So, what do you feel about, like, boxed goods, canned goods, frozen goods? What do you think about that stuff?
Yeah, no. I mean, frozen. I'll do organic frozen berries.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Okay.
But nothing like creamy. You know.
I'm with you. I'm like, for me,
Well,
it's just like,
I said yes.
I just wanted to know what you were going to say.
just to see what you would say.
For me, it's like
a long
though.
fruit, vegetables, and meat. Like that's it. That's like all that. Like everything else is just no good. Like that's how I look at it. You know, like that's how I like filter out food. You know, like if it's like I know some people are vegetarians, or whatever, and I think that's a good diet too. I'm not willing to give up my steak yet, but I'm just saying, you know, like when I look at like a human being and like what I've learned about people and like how our bodies work, how even an animal's body works, like there was none of this in the caveman days and like the old days. Like it was raw food that kept people healthy and kept people growing, and that is where I feel like there's so much marketing out here. There's so much extra stuff out here, and like shiny object syndrome and like all of this stuff. Like they're like, oh, look at this cool box of cereal, or look at this, or look at that, you know, and like they're drawing people in like off of like not just the marketing side, but like the sugar side. Like sugar's like 8 times more addicting than cocaine. So like these people, you know, taking in, you know, all of this unnatural sugar, like they're just craving it. They think they're craving the fruity pebbles, but they're really craving the sugar that's in it. Like that's what they're craving, you know, and they relate it in their head to it. And like to me, man, like just going all the way off the deep end with it, like I don't know why like this stuff isn't just banned. Like it can be proven that it's not good for a person. Like if something can be proven, why isn't this stuff taken off the shelves? Like it's not causing anything but like diabetes and obesity and like all of this stuff. Like that's something that I have a hard time with. Like I don't know how you feel about it or what you think about it, or maybe you think maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but like that's where my mind goes about that kind of stuff.
Well, I think with free will. So,
Absolutely.
you know, I could harm myself every day with 10 bags of Tootsie Rolls. Or I can smoke a cigarette, or I can like whatever, right? Like it doesn't matter what it is. You can pick your, or I can just kill myself with my own thoughts.
Yeah.
That was bad wording. Sorry, to use that term. But I can make life really suck.
Yeah.
With my own thoughts.
But I think a lot of people are conditioned. I'm gonna end the conversation with this, but that way we can continue. But I just think people are uninformed. They have no idea it's happening, and it's just normal activity. Like, you know, you grow up. Like, think about it. Like a person, like as a kid, they grow up. They see Fruity Pebbles. They get to be a teenager.
I see what you're saying.
You know, like they had no clue this whole time that it was bad. And they're like, I've been eating this stuff for 15 years. I'm fine. You know what I mean? And like,
warning on the box.
Like, I don't know. Yeah. They should ban that stuff, man. I don't know. Like they should just completely. If something's not good for a human being, it should not be. You shouldn't have access to it. You know, it shouldn't be here. And that goes for cigarettes. I think goes for, in my opinion, drinking, any type of alcohol, like food, bad food. Like, imagine everybody with just like fruits and vegetables and like and good water, like all the things that we need.
Yeah.
Like, how awesome would that be?
It'd be 3 weeks of really cranky people detoxing from the sugar.
Oh, I did it, and it was bad.
Me too.
I had the shakes. I was like shaking from
it.
Yeah. I just wanted to know what you thought about that. I think that's fascinating to me, like what's acceptable through society and like what stays. Like it's just harming people, you know, in my eyes. This is just my opinion. I don't know how you feel about it, but I just think it's pretty bad, you know. But I don't know. I think I asked most of the questions that I want. I know that you brought me on so you can introduce me to everybody, but I wanted to dig on you a little bit. I wanted to see where you were at too, because there's a lot of people too there. I can't see like if people are on or not. I'm not sure who's here.
Yeah. If anyone has any questions, I should have said that. All right.
No, you're fine.
If anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the comment box.
And if you're watching
the replay,
you can
still do so.
And we'll hop
on and answer.
Absolutely, definitely. How long did it take you? How long did it take you to put your book together? I'm digging. Like I'm I'm just gonna ask.
I told you it was written.
I know.
And then
it's
gonna be
like
years to finish.
I mean, was it something? Because I'm just asking because I've been doodling about putting a book together. And like I just can't do it. Like I've tried a bunch of times. I just can't put it together. But
Don't say that.
I can't do it.
I can do it, but I'm just having a hard time with it.
Okay.
I mean, was it something that was just like long periods of time of you writing and then finally putting it all together, or you just got it out?
Anyone who knows me, keep it simple.
All right.
So I set a timer. 25 minutes
at a time.
Oh, okay.
I usually only wrote once or twice a week.
Okay.
And I had an accountability partner.
Nice.
So every Sunday, we would check in with each other about our books.
Definitely. I like it.
So someone's you have to report to someone. Did you meet your goal?
Oh yeah. That's
you know about
that. I have a private Facebook group, and that's what all my clients do. Like everyone reports daily where they're at. You know, like we set a goal for the week. Where are you at? Every day. You know.
Who do you report to?
I report to myself. I hope myself. Yeah, and so that's one of the things too. So like, I know it's hard for people sometimes. Like, I've been there where like you need somebody there. I wouldn't mind having somebody else to help me to be not. I don't know if it's accountable, but to like push me towards more than what I am doing. Like, I do a lot, and I do more than what I think an average person would do. But I think if I had somebody around with me to be like, all right, dude, like you want to do X, like we're gonna do Y and Z too, like, and I would be down for it. And to have somebody help hold me accountable to get there, I think that would be cool. But I truly believe that successful people hold themselves accountable. Like at the end of the day, I don't think we need anyone to hold us accountable if you really want what you're talking about. You know, like if you say you want something, I think there's a lot of people like nodding and agreeing out here, but they're not down for what the price is going to cost for them to get there. So like, I don't know, but I wouldn't mind having an accountability partner. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, it changed my life.
Yep, absolutely.
For that, yeah.
So do you have any other questions you want to ask me?
No. How can people find you?
I'm easy to find. I'm easy to find. So you can go to my website, jclimitless.com. But for the most part, right here, you know, like this is my personal Facebook page. I love to communicate and talk to people here. More so, like you can go to all my social medias, JC_Limitless, but this personal page here would be the #1 hub point for people to come. You know, if you guys want to send me a message, you want to friend request me, you had questions, or you just want to talk, whatever it might be, like I'm totally down, and this is probably the best place to get a hold of me. I do post on all of my other social media, but I feel like this is the best communication here.
We are fine. There we go. All right. So JCLimitless.com.
Yep.
And here on the personal Facebook page.
Yep, absolutely. 2 best spots to get me.
Awesome. I can't thank you enough.
Absolutely. I'd be down to do some more lives with you. We can set some more up if you like. It doesn't matter to me.
Totally. Minus the feedback.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
We can do some test runs.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions, just drop them in the comments. We'll be sure to answer them.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much,
Sharon.
You're so welcome. Anytime. You just ask. I'm here.
All right. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye.